to Japan. What up? You know the flow probably worth 100 grand. Okay. You wanna talk? Put the money in my hands. Yeah. See, I'm the man. What up? Understand? What up? You wanna talk? Put the money in my hands. Okay. See, I'm the man. What up? So understand? You wanna talk? Put the money in my hands. Yeah. Now from the upper deck to the flow, it's no replay. You get them flesh to the bones. SB checks to the soul. Them both things connect like X's and O's. From being checklist to recklessly po, how I go from the jets to the shows, and I'm fresh like I've never been before. How the flow so hot like I slept in my clothes. Even with a neck full of ropes, I won't get ahead of myself. Get glory to the man upstairs like I pray for help.
Welcome to Youth Neighborhood News, Keeping It 100. Today our topic is school days. I am Adrienne Ayers. I graduated from Cass Technical High School and will be going to Eastern Michigan University. I'm going to major in broadcast journalism. Our guest host today is Lloyd Jackson. He's the Assistant News Director at WJR Radio and the host of The Big Story. Lloyd, thanks for being with us today.
Thanks, Adrienne, for having me, and happy to be here. We are also joined with 3 other hosts, including my former colleague, Vanessa Denha-Garmo, who is now running her own communications company, Denha Media and Communications.
Well, thanks, Lloyd. It's a pleasure to have you here. We're happy to be part of the Youth Neighborhood News production team. Our 2 other Youth Neighborhood News hosts are also with us, and they're going to tell us a little bit about themselves. First, we'll talk. Zach, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us who you are?
Well, my name is Zachary Crawford. I'm 10 years old. I attend Fisher Elementary School. I'm a 3.89 GPA student, and I hope to achieve big things in the future.
That's awesome. How about you, Adam?
I graduated the 8th grade from Hamtramck Charter Academy. For high school, I plan to go to Henry Ford Academy School for Creative Studies. For college, I plan to major in broadcast journalism at Northwestern University in Chicago. And so far, I've been here at Youth Neighborhood News for half a year now, and it has been very adventurous, and I plan to continue here for the next 4 years. We are talking about schools here on Youth Neighborhood News, Keeping It 100. Today's topic is school days, but before we get to that, we want to know more about you, Lloyd. Lloyd, you grew up in the city. How did that prepare you for being a reporter today?
Well, I think what it did was allow me to get familiar with all the quadrants of the city. The city of Detroit is a very big city, and you have different parts of the city, and you have different people in each part of the city. So by growing up in the city and being able to go to these different parts of the city and meet the people and know the people, I have family in just about every part of the city. It made it very easy for me to get the feel of a story. When I was able to have a story assigned to me, I was able to know how to approach it and how to, get my arms around that story, because that's what you want to do as a reporter. You want to make sure you get your arms around the story and be able to tell the story like you're talking to a blind person, because we have to be very descriptive on radio because it's all about words and sound. We don't have the luxury of having a picture like a person. So that's how it, being here, having family here, and having friends who live all across the city of Detroit really helped me be a good reporter.
What part of the city did you grow up in?
I grew up in the northwest part of the city, on the west side, and then we moved to the northwest side. And most of my time was spent over there, but like I said, I had family in southwest Detroit, I have family on the east side, I have family in northeast Detroit, so I was everywhere as a kid growing up. I was all over the place.
So how did growing up in the city of Detroit help to impact your broadcast journalism career?
Well, it made me understand what people were going through. I mean, we have so many different facets of the city of Detroit, music, manufacturing, technology, all of those things going on in the city of Detroit. So because we had so many things coming out of the city of Detroit, when a story came to me, I was able to put them together because of so many other things that we had going on in Detroit. I was able to get my hands around that story and really make it a great story because of all the different facets that are going on in the city of Detroit, and I could marriage those 2 things together.
Did you always want to be a broadcast journalist?
No, didn't always want to be a broadcast journalist. I think I wanted to be what all kids at my age, my time, said. They either wanted to be a doctor, a pediatrician, or a policeman, or a fireman. But it appeared that I always had a microphone in my hand, and I was always talking all the time. And so it came to the point where I was in high school, and I had a speech class, and a person came from the Specs Howard School of Broadcasting to the class and talked to us about broadcasting and everything. And I started thinking, I said, well, you know, since I like to talk, maybe I need to do it for a living and make some money from it. So that's what I did, and never looked back.
Well, our topic today is school days, and there's a lot going on in schools right now. So if you were in the Board of Education, what would you do to change it?
Well, the first thing I would do is, I think, first of all, let me say that Robert Bob, the emergency financial manager, I think he's doing the best he can with what he has to deal with. The first thing you have to do is get the finances right, and I think that's what he's doing to get all of the bootleg people out. That's what I call them. Get all the bootleg people out, and all the people who've been stealing for years and taking from the kids, to get them out of there and get that money back in the classroom. Now, once you get that money back in the classroom, you have to have some type of academic program to teach these young people and get good teachers in there, not teachers who are just there to get a paycheck. There are a lot of teachers that are just there to just get a paycheck. There are a lot of young, bright teachers who are eager to come in and learn and teach these young people. And I give a lot of credit to the teachers that are there that are trying, because they have to be teachers, mothers, fathers, social workers, all of that. But I would, first of all, get the finances in order so we can get out of the deficit. Second thing I would do is get the academics in order to make sure these young people are being taught properly.
Lloyd, tell us about your school days, your experiences growing up and going to the City of Detroit school system and then being transferred.
Yeah, I started in Detroit Public Schools. I went to elementary school, Detroit Public Schools, and middle school in Detroit Public Schools up and through the 9th grade, because the middle school I went to at the time went all the way to the 9th grade. It was 7th, 8th, 9th. And in middle school, I wasn't learning anything. I just wasn't learning. I mean, the teachers didn't really care. You know, I would go to class, and I had a math teacher who I would go to his class, and we would talk about his family the whole hour. That was what we talked about. We talked about his family. We didn't learn anything. He didn't say, get out your books. We talked about his family reunion and all that kind of stuff.
Were you graded on what he did he test you on how much you knew about his family?
I think I got a B out of the class. I didn't know anything, but I got a B out of the class. So when I came home one day and my father said, you know, I noticed you just don't have a lot of books. Where are your books? I said, Dad, they're at school. What you're doing in school, you need to have books. You got to do homework. So my father took me up to the school, and we talked to the principal, and my father knew that I wasn't getting a good education, so he took me out and put me in Lutheran West. And let me tell you, it was the best thing he could have ever done, because it took me about 2 years, Vanessa, to even catch up, because I just didn't know a lot of the things that I should have known. There's some things I did know, but there was a lot of things I didn't know that I should have known. So it was great though, but that helped me. I wouldn't be where I am today if he hadn't done that.
You know, today our topic is school days, and we want to pose some questions to the kids today about what your experiences are today, you guys going through the school system. What do you guys think of what's going on in schools today?
I feel like Detroit Public Schools that have a lot of catching up to do as far as to these other schools. There's a lot of changes that need to be made, and I think the community and students and parents, we all should come together and try to, you know, figure out what needs to be done, because it doesn't seem like the Detroit Board of Education is doing a pretty good job.
What do you think about the governance? Do you think we should have a school board running the Detroit Public Schools, or should the mayor take over the Detroit Public Schools?
I feel like the school board right now, they're not really doing a good job, and since they're not, maybe the mayor should take over. If they're not doing what they need to do to ensure that we get a good quality education, then if that's a change that needs to be made, maybe it should be made.
What about safety issues, Zach? What, you know, how safe is it? I mean, you're in elementary school at this point, right? How safe is it?
I think it's pretty safe at my school. I go to a school in the suburbs, but at the DPS schools, they already are having security guards and cameras all over the elementary schools just to stop the bullying. I don't think there should be any bullying at those ages, but it still goes on, and I don't know any ways that we could stop it, but I have been thinking about it for a while now.
Adam, how about you? I know you say you're pretty safe at school, but you had some bullying issues that you saw in another district. Tell us